All roads have been leading here. Backyard Jam World Finals 2. Last time saw the pre-show qualifiers. 12 trucks whittled down to the top 2. Against all odds, 2 rookies dominated the competition, making it into the main field of athletes at World Finals. The final ended in a tie, but in their rematch, James Wilson in Monster Mutt Husky prevailed to claim the higher seed. How will he and Ian Phipps fare, though, against the toughest of the tour? Find out as we kick off the biggest show in Diecast. This is Racing and High Jump. This is World Finals. This is Backyard Jam. It is that time, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Backyard Jam World Finals 2 with a stacked field of 24 drivers. These athletes have been competing all year long, both on the regular season and in the side competitions, for a spot in this very competition. 24 of the very best have made it this far. Several others will also be competing in the high jump competition as well. An absolutely amazing lineup here of trucks and drivers. Not to mention our series champions, both Caden Wilson and Steve Calabrese. More on him in just a moment. Our LCQ champion there as well. Let's take a look at some of the stories going in. Elliot Spiros and Cyclops Hobbies, 2 rivals who took on each other last year, came into this season on different tours. They're facing each other again for the first time here at World Finals. We also see on page 2 our LCQ champion and runner-up making it into the main field down the bottom there, James Wilson and Ian Phipps. We have some of the fastest drivers in the series, and not to mention the 50th anniversary of Bigfoot. Mitch Brown leads a fleet of trucks that will make up our encore at the end of the event after freestyle. Looking forward to that. We've also got new schemes for Blue Thunder here. A classic look for them. Classic looks all round as well for Jurassic Attack. The Monster Mutts are wearing the Mercury bodies. We've got some brand new as well. Stars and Stripes for El Toro Loco. A classic Grave Digger throwback there for you. Velociraptor returns to defend their racing championship, as does Monster Mutt Mikey Merton for the freestyle championship. Now, I said we'd circle back round to Steve Calabrese in JCB Diggertron. Not only did he win his tour, not only did he top the points table overall for both tours, taking the top spot in the power rankings, but here at World Finals during practice, he doubled, tripled and quadrupled down to take home the fastest qualifier as well, beating Hunter Craddock and Jurassic Attack in the very final matchup there. Exciting all round. Jurassic Attack rolling the truck over in practice. JCB looks somewhat unstoppable here at World Finals, and you've got to think that Steve Calabrese is up on cloud 9. A reminder of the track for tonight's racing competition. Over the jump at the very start that passes over the backflip container. We will see that in freestyle in the next episode. We also then have the ramps over the finish line, the bus stack and mini RV jump as well. Got to make sure you're set for that, as we saw in LCQ, otherwise it will gobble you up. Some ramps towards the end to slow trucks down. It is a great track, provided some awesome entertainment. World Finals 2 racing bracket was set based on the seedings from the last season. Top 8 seeds getting first round buys. As you can see then, everybody else was randomised, and we have ourselves a bracket. Monster Mutt Dalmatian will take on Bad Company. Thunderorus Nox against Bro Camino. Back again, Dragonoid against Monster Mutt Husky. Blue Thunder against Son of a Digger, Uproar against Vendetta, Kraken against Slinger, Captain America versus Northern Nightmare. Our first race, though, in round 1 is going to see Monster Mutt Mikey Merton, last year's freestyle champion, take on the underseed Gina Clark in Whiplash. She got here by the merits of her regular season performance. It's Monster Mutt with that Mercury body in the near lane, Whiplash over in the far, and we are ready to go racing here at World Finals 2. Gates are open, down the track they come. Over the first jump, it's Gina Clark ahead at this stage, rolling the truck over after the line. Monster Mutt was right there with her though. Let's take a look at the slow-mo replay here. Great launch there from Monster Mutt. And Mikey Merton is still in the conversation, as you can see there. Got caught out by the ramps after the line. Whiplash goes over. We saw lots of close races in LCQ. This is no different. There is a hairline between them, I feel. Or not. I'm being told that it's a tie and they will race again. So Whiplash now being turned back onto their tyres by track crew. We'll head back to the top of the track and change lanes. Whiplash now in the near lane. Monster Mutt over in the far lane. Let's see what happens here as we go racing again. Gates are open. Down they come. Over the jump, and it's Whiplash ahead of this stage. What a violent roll over there for Gina Clark. Ends up on her lid for a second time. But she looks to have won the race here. Gina Clark is now against the clock. You can see there some truck damage. Body is off. One of the tyres is flat. There is some big damage to that truck. Will she be back in time for round 2 of racing? We shall find out. Track crew having to cart her off though. Not what you want to see. We will pick that story up in just a little bit. For now though, we move on in the competition. Rod Northern Nightmare won the freestyle in the showdown. The shootout winner in the showdown, and last year's LCQ champion Little Chip Chocolate here in Captain America is the opponent in the near lane, Northern Nightmare in the far. Gates open, down they come. Captain America pulling ahead at this stage, turns off violently and hits the side wall. And as we know from the previous Throttle Thriller event, the new rule states sidewall contact before the line, as that was, is an automatic disqualification from the race. So Rod will progress, and there looks to be some damage to Captain America as well. They hope to repair ready for freestyle. We're only 2 groups deep and already some amazing action. Our Summer Speedway champion, the racing champion of that same competition, Slinger Tim Cantwell, the Cowboy from Hell, is in the near lane for the next race. Our other showdown freestyle champion, Spanky in Kraken in the far. Gates are open, down the track they come, and Spanky got the whole shot there. Rolls it over the line though. Got caught out by the bus jump by the looks of things. Did Tim Cantwell capitalise though? It was far too little, far too late. Spanky rolling the truck over does in fact win the race, taking out one of the major threats, I think, of the racing competition. Slinger, they will have to wait it out until freestyle. Jason Craddock now in Vendetta, our Overdrive event champion, goes up against Charlie Hubbard, the Summer Speedway freestyle champion here on the track. It's Vendetta, Jason Craddock in the near lane, Charlie Hubbard in Uproar over in the far. Let's see what happens in this one. Gates open, down the track they come. Over the first jump, Vendetta is ahead, but turns violently off and ends up stopping short of the line. Uproar will take the win here. He just caught a bad bounce by the looks of things. Either that or something on the steering line broke, and there you can see he was shut off. Just rolls it down the ramp. Vendetta out of racing. Uproar will move on. Visual confirmation. Whiplash, if they can get repaired, will be facing Diggertron in the next round. Northern Nightmare will go against Bigfoot. Kraken will take on Brodozer. Uproar will take on last year's racing champion Velociraptor. Now we move to the right-hand side of the bracket for round 1. And we're going to see Chip Chocolate in Blue Thunder, one of our freestyle champions on the regular season, take on Ryan Davis, one of our racing champions over there as well. Both on Series Blue, used to fighting it out against each other. That brand new looking Blue Thunder Looks very nice on the track. Can it take out Son of a Digger though? Let's find out. Here we go, down the track they come, even as they go, but very, very close at the line. A rollover from Blue Thunder ends up on the tailgate. But it is Son of a Digger who's going to take the win by about a tyre length in the end. Blue Thunder getting warmed up for freestyle perhaps. A nice rollover from then. That sort of performance would see them continue on. Unfortunately in racing, not so. Son of a Digger is moving on. Our LCQ champion for this year, Monster Mutt Husky James Wilson, is up against Rexy Chris in Bakugan Dragonoid. He got to this stage through the regular season racing brackets, won one of them to get to this spot. So let's see how he can do on the track against our LCQ champion. Here we go, down they come, even as they go. It looked like Bakugan ahead, but Husky was catching up towards the end. Well, so far the near lane has been the better one. A poor bounce there from Bakugan Dragonoid does in fact send Monster Mutt Husky through to round 2 racing here at World Finals 2. Bakugan Dragonoid just got caught out by the buses as well. Monster Mutt Husky progresses. Ian Spiros, one of our underseeds coming into the competition, Bro Camino, is up against Ian Phipps, the madman. Thunderorus Knox, runner-up at LCQ, does still get a position here at World Finals. And with that, he will race in round 1. Gates are open, down the track, both of these drivers come over the first jump even as they go, but Thunderorus look to pull ahead towards the end there. Here's the jump at the end. You can see there, just by about half a tyre length, Thunderorus Knox gets the win. And that is another LCQ competitor going on to round 2. Violet Craddock, Monster Mutt Dalmatian comes to the track, our last underseed, up against Sawyer Ramsdale, Bad Company. Both came into the competition on Series Red at the same time. We will see how these two get on. The Mercury, Monster Mutt Dalmatian there in the far lane against Bad Company in the near. Gates are open, Sawyer Ramsdale gets the whole shot out of the gates and a nice landing sends him across the line. Very clean, very precise, got set up. And he gets the win as well. Violet Craddock out of it for tonight. Bad Company will progress to round 2. Just got to be disappointed with that one, but Sawyer Ramsdale is moving on. That wraps up round 1 of racing here at World Finals. Son of a Digger goes on to face Jurassic Attack, our second fastest qualifier. Monster Mutt Husky will take on his brother, Monster Mutt Rottweiler. Thunderorus Knox takes on Gravedigger, and Bad Company will be taking on El Toro Loco, Stars and Stripes. Now, we mentioned earlier on the truck damage. Whiplash is going to be out of the competition, I'm hearing, for racing. Too much damage to the truck, and so Monster Mutt will get a second chance here, but they are up against it as our fastest qualifier, Steve Calabrese, is about to hit the track, winner of Series Red this year. Mikey Merton is going to have to pull out all the stops to win this one. He is in the near lane. JCB Diggertron over in the far. Steve Calabrese looks to be on a win streak. Can he continue? Gates are open. Down they come. Over the jump. It is going to be JCB Diggertron quite handily across the line first. Here's that jump on the slow-mo replay. There you can see just a perfect setup for the jump. Monster Mutt were just that little bit too slow. And JCB Diggertron is going to move on to the racing quarterfinals. Monster Mutt a second chance, but to no avail. Rod Northern Nightmare returns to the track now to face the 50th anniversary of Bigfoot. Mitch Brown got second place 3 times in the regular season before winning his final event of the year. Made it to this stage based on all of those merits and the 50th anniversary, of course. Gates open though, Rod in the lead at this early stage, and a wild crash there for Bigfoot. What on earth happened there? You can see Rod got set perfectly. Meanwhile, Bigfoot hits the little blue mogul, rotates the truck in a bit of a sort of corkscrew maneuver and ends up on his lid on the line. Not the race he'd have hoped to have had, Mitch Brown, but we will see him again later in the World Finals for freestyle, and of course that stunt at the end as well. Spanky returns to the track now in Kraken. He is up against Elliot Spiros in Brodozer, came second on the regular season red. Of course, he won one of those racing brackets as well to get to this stage. He's over in the far lane, Kraken in the near. Let's see some more racing. Down the track they come, Kraken pulling ahead again at this stage, but Elliot Spiros was there with him at the line in the far lane. Let's take a look at the slow-mo replay here. Kraken got set up early, but there you could just see, I think, a Brodozer tyre reach out ahead as Kraken goes high. Brodozer goes long. Here's that slow-mo replay. And it is quite clear by that. Brodozer, I believe, is going to get the win. The line on screen is coming up as well. And there it is. Brodozer is going to move on in competition. Spanky gave him a run for his money, though, and got him a little bit worried, I reckon. Charlie Hubbard, Uproar, returning to the track now to face last year's racing champion, defending his title here tonight, or he hopes to at least. It is Cody Privet in Velociraptor in the near lane. Charlie Hubbard in Uproar over in the far. Down the track they come, Velociraptor pulling ahead at this stage and will get ahead of Uproar to cross the line first. Uproar got crossed up, ended up right behind Velociraptor, and by that point I think he knew he was not winning that one. Parked up on the jump, Charlie Hubbard out of the competition. Velociraptor continues the defense charge. Here's visual confirmation, those moving on. Digatron will take on Northern Nightmare in the next round. Brodozer will be set to take on Velociraptor. That's all to come in the quarterfinals. Meanwhile, back on the right-hand side of the bracket, we continue round 2 of racing. Our second fastest qualifier is up in this one against Ryan Davis, son of a digger. Looked fast in round 1. Hunter Craddock looked fast in that qualification setting. He is in the near lane. Son of a digger over in the far. That classic Jurassic Attack body on the truck, ready to go racing. Let's see what happens here. Gates are open. Down they come. Over the first jump, even as they go, and even across the finish line. What a race from these two drivers. Son of a digger put their heavy horsepower down in this one. Jurassic Attack staying right there with him. He was a fastest qualifier almost. And we can see why by the evidence of this race. Here's the super slow-mo replay here. Lots of tyres reaching the line, all similar times. But there is the line on screen, and I'm hearing it. Son of a digger taking the most minimal win. They are going on to the quarterfinals, and I think that's quite an upset. James Wilson, Monster Mutt Husky, is hoping to do another here against his brother Caden Wilson in Monster Mutt Rottweiler, the winner of the Series Blue points chase. He won 2 events on that tour as well. He's in the near lane. Monster Mutt Husky over in the far. Let's see what happens when these two race. Brother matchup, and Husky gets the whole shot over the jump. Here comes Caden Wilson, and Husky is down. We're going to need to watch the replay for that one. Monster Mutt Husky was ahead at this stage. Caden Wilson goes high, and Monster Mutt Husky is going to take the win here. James Wilson takes out his own brother. One of the favourites for the racing competition, you have to think, is out of it, and that has to be the upset of the tournament so far. LCQ winner takes out his own brother. Ian Phipps, the Madman, Thunderosaurus, the other LCQ qualifier, now against Cyclops Hobbies in the bad to the bone Gravedigger. They got a racing win this season, making it through to World Finals in the process. They're over in the far lane. Let's see what they can do here in that classic body. Gates are open. Down the track they come. Gravedigger pulls just a little bit ahead, and a weird roll there for both trucks. Gravedigger managed to save it, as does Thunderosaurus just about. Let's take a look at this. Almost a cartwheel there for Gravedigger. Thunderosaurus, meanwhile, noses over to try and get all of the truck across the line before Gravedigger. Great save there from Cyclops Hobbies. Let's take a look at the super slow-mo replay to check out who is going to win the race. And by the looks of things, it is going to be Cyclops Hobbies in Gravedigger. There is the line on screen confirming it. Gravedigger moves on in competition, and Thunderosaurus, they are out. And they have rolled the truck over fully now. Almost waited for the result to do so. Sawyer Ramsdell, Bad Company, comes up to the line now. That freestyle win in the season red. The same could be said of Shane Soddle, who got a racing win on Series Red. He's over in the far lane in the brand new El Toro Loco Stars and Stripes. Sawyer Ramsdell, Bad Company in the near lane. Gates are open. El Toro Loco quick out of them. Gets across the line first, but rolls wildly across that finish line. Let's take a look. Nosedive almost across. Can't get quite set up and ends up over the ramps at the end there. Does get the win though. El Toro Loco now being righted. The body is off. And he will want to take that back over to the pit lane to try and get some repairs in before he has to race again. Here's the visual confirmation. Son of a Digger takes on Monster Mutt Husky in the top right-hand side of your bracket. Gravedigger will take on El Toro Loco Stars and Stripes in that bottom right-hand side. 8 trucks remain in the World Finals racing bracket. It is going to become 4 very quickly as we begin that quarter-final round. Rod in Northern Nightmare takes on Steve Calabrese in JCB Diggertron, our fastest qualifier back on the track over in the far lane. Rod, Northern Nightmare in the near. Let's kick off the quarterfinals. Down the track they come. JCB is ahead at this stage and again gets the truck nicely set. Rod, though, was there with him. Here is the slow-mo replay, but it is going to be by about half a truck length in the end. JCB Diggertron making it through to the racing semi-finals tonight. He continues his win streak. Northern Nightmare, meanwhile, out of the competition for now. Elliot Spiros, Brodozer, returning to the track, had a little bit of an upset last round, or a little bit of a scare, I should say, and he's got to be worried about this one. Cody Privet, last year's World Finals racing champion, over in the far lane. Brodozer in the near. Let's see who wins this one. Gates are open. Down the track they come. Cody Privet pulling just ahead. Brodozer, though, came back towards the end, and I'm not sure who got that one. Here is the finish line cam, and by the looks of things, it is going to be Elliot Spiros in Brodozer. He's making up for last year's World Finals, coming back with a vengeance, and he takes out last year's champion. Ryan Davis, Son of a Digger, is coming back to the track now to face James Wilson, our LCQ champion in Monster Mutt Husky. Now last year, LCQ champion Little Chip Chocolate made it all the way through to the racing finals. Can James Wilson do the same here? Gates are open. Down the track they come, and they are keeping level with Son of a Digger. Son of a Digger rolls in a weird way over the line. Let's take a look at the slow-mo replay on this one. Nosedived it into the jump, but that back tyre comes around to take the win. Only just though, and that is a rough landing for Son of a Digger. Track crew have to come in to right them, and unfortunate for James Wilson, he is out of it. Son of a Digger will progress in the competition. Cyclops Hobbies in Gravedigger is hoping to make that 2 for 2 for Team Digger going through to the semi-finals tonight. Shane Stoddle, El Toro Loco, is going to try and put a stop to that. That body does not look particularly well attached. We did see it come off in the last race. Let's see what happens here. Gates are open, down they come, even as they go. The body coming off of the truck, and both make it safely across the line. It was very, very even the whole while. Gravedigger ahead at this stage. Here comes El Toro, though, across the line, and that is a knife-edge finish. Here's a super slow-mo replay. Gravedigger, they were ahead to start with, but I'm not sure they kept it. El Toro Loco were fast, and they were just that little bit quicker. You can see just a tiny bit extra tyre sticking out for El Toro Loco means Shane Stoddle makes it through to the racing semi-finals. Well, what a round of racing. Diggertron and Brodozer, two of the fastest on the track. Son of a Digger and El Toro Loco got here by the skin of their teeth, I would say. There is the matchups for the racing semi-finals then. 2 yellow trucks, first of all, and then 2 what used to be blue trucks in our second race. Steve Calabrese, Diggertron, goes up against Elliot Spiros, Brodozer. These two trucks have been bad fast all night long. Brodozer is in that near lane. JCB Digatron over in the far lane where they've been all night long. Let's see if they can keep the win going. Down the track they come. Digatron out with the early lead, but here comes Brodozer very fast across the line. And that could be the upset. And it is. Brodozer is going on to the racing finals, taking out our fastest qualifier, JCB Digatron, Steve Calabrese. It has been a fearsome race from them tonight, but they weren't quite fast enough in this one. Ryan Davis, son of a digger, is coming up to the track now to face El Toro Loco, Shane Stoddle. These two drivers have been great on the track, but a little bit clumsy when it comes to landing the other side of the finish line. What truck damage might there be? Let's find out. Down the track they come, son of a digger pulling ahead at this early stage. El Toro Loco tried to come back with it at the end. Did they manage it? Let's find out. Here is the finish line cam. And there you can see by about half a tyre length, son of a digger is going on to the racing finals here at World Finals tonight. Shane Stoddle tried his hardest, but he wasn't quite quick enough to catch the son of a digger. And that means we have our racing finalists, Brodozer Elliot Spiros against son of a digger Ryan Davis. We will see that matchup in just a little bit, but first, our third place playoff. Steve Calabrese, JCB Digatron will take on Shane Stoddle in El Toro Loco. These two friends off the track. On the track here, they're going to be the bitterest of rivals, trying to both get that third place finish on the podium. Gates are open for our third place playoff. JCB Digatron pulls ahead. Here comes El Toro Loco though, and they finish side by side over the line. Let's take a look at the slow-mo replay though. You can see there it was a very close race, but by a tyre length. Steve Calabrese in the JCB Digatron. Our fastest qualifier is our third place finisher for this year's racing bracket. Congratulations to him. But now it is time to find out who is going to take the trophy and this year's racing championship in the World Finals. JCB Digatron, they were quick, but they weren't as quick as these two, son of a digger and Brodozer. Both drivers have been awesome all night long. A little bit of luck, a little bit of patience, and a lot of speed. Son of a digger, Ryan Davis. He has 2 wins to his name, an overall points championship from last year and 1 event championship this year. The same can be said for Brodozer, an event championship both last year and this year. Came second on the tour last year, came second on the tour this year. Brodozer is a strong competitor any night. Son of a digger, they need to pull it out here. Past results don't matter now. It is time for the racing championship here at World Finals 2. Down the track they come. Over the first jump, it's son of a digger ahead, and there goes Brodozer rolling the truck over across the line. And did that give the win to son of a digger? Let's find out here. It doesn't matter. Before they'd even crash landed, son of a digger had won the racing championship, and there you can see Ryan Davis doing donuts and turns the truck over in true digger style. That was ragged edge. Son of a digger is your World Finals racing champion for 2025. Ryan Davis, he stands at the top of the mountain, the champion. A thoroughly deserved win there. He was fast all night long, a little bit lucky at times, but it doesn't matter now because he is the racing champion, and there he is. We'll be back with more after this.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to a Backyard Jam World Finals 2, where the track crew have been out to reformat the track ready for freestyle in the next episode, but first and foremost, the high jump competition. And here you can see the competitors in the parade ready to do battle here. The highest jump will win another World Finals Championship here tonight. Let's take a look at our competitors. 8 of the highest flying trucks from this year's competition: Spooky in Avenger, Mitch Brown in Bigfoot, Elliot Spiros in Brodozer, Steve Calabrese in JCB Diggatron, Matt Cheever in Gravedigger the Legend, John Ritchie in Kingsling, Caden Wilson in Monster Mutt Rottweiler, and our racing champion Ryan Davis in Son of a Digger. Up first is going to be Caden Wilson in Monster Mutt Rottweiler. He gets set at the top of the track, ready for the high jump. It's one and done here, so let's take a look at our first competitor. Down the track he comes, up to the jump, and that was a good sky wheelie. Wheelies through and lands on all 4 BKT tyres. Here's the slow-mo replay. Up to the jump he comes. Good elevation. Remember, it's the highest point of the tyres is the line where the truck will get scored. Monster Mutt Rottweiler's done very well to get back down there. A great save and a great first look at the freestyle track. There you can see the line of which he will be marked. 19 meters is the score for Monster Mutt Rottweiler. A good first bar to set. We now move on to our racing champion. Ryan Davis, Son of a Digger, is set and ready to take on the high jump. There he is. Tyres still dirty from that donut earlier on. The shocks have been set. He's ready to go down the track, ready for high jump. Gates open. Here he comes. Good head of steam. Up, over, rolls the truck over. Well, that was not a safe landing. Let's take a look at the replay. Over he comes. Good jump. Twists very slightly in the air. Loses control of where the truck is. Slides down the ramp and ends up on his side. But it looked like a good elevation, over 20 meters there. Let's take a look at the official score. 21.5 for Ryan Davis, takes the lead. Can he double down after his racing win tonight? He is going to hope so. Dirt falling off the back of his truck. Well, Mitch Brown is back to the track now in Bigfoot. The 50th anniversary continuing strong for him. Despite his early exit in racing, he is ready to take on the high jump now. What's he got in store for us? Let's find out. Down the track comes the 50th anniversary Bigfoot. There is a nice sky wheelie and out of control once again. Second time we've seen that truck bobble off of the jump. Let's take a look at this. Up he comes, doesn't quite reach the 20-meter mark by the looks of things, and then just twists on landing, sending it onto its side. Just below 20 meters, the official score coming in. 19.5 for Mitch Brown in Bigfoot. It was good, but it's not good enough tonight. Bigfoot not going to take home the high jump championship. You've got to think he's going to be gunning hard for a big win in freestyle in the next episode. We look forward to seeing that run. But up next, we have Spooky returning to the track in Avenger. He competed in the LCQ, didn't make it through to the main field, but is here, qualified for the high jump competition, and he's cleared for launch. Gates open, down comes Spooky in that Neon Avenger. Nice sky wheelie, and he rocks backwards. Quite a heavy landing on the rear tailgate, the tyres still spinning. Let's take a look at the replay here. Over the jump he comes. Nice sky wheelie, gets a good height. Just rocks backwards on landing, and on his back he finishes. Let's take a look at the line on screen. Over the 20-meter mark once again, but not quite as high as Son of a Digger. 20.3. That'll put him into second place, though. Track crew coming in now to roll him back onto his tyres. Doesn't seem to be too much damage to that body. It was awesome to see it out on the track, though. Elliot Spiros, Brodozer. He is coming back onto the track. Second place in racing. An awesome night for him so far, and he's hoping to go one stage further and get the high jump win. Gates open. Down the track he comes. Over the jump and manages to land it safely. He does hit the backflip ramp, on re-entry. Let's take a look at the slow-mo replay here. Good launch. Good height as well. Looked to be about as high as Avenger, then clips the back tailgate on the backflip ramp. He's going to need to get that checked out before freestyle. But a good height there. Looks a little bit higher than Spooky's. And it is only just 20.5 will put him into second place now. Spooky down into third. John Ritchie, Kingsling coming to the track next. Again, he didn't make it through to World Finals, wasn't even in the LCQ, but had one of the biggest launches of the season in the regular season freestyle events. Let's take a look at what he's got here in the high jump as he comes down the track. Over the launch, rocks backwards and lands crookedly on the jump. But it looked like a decent height. Let's take a look. Here's the jump. Good grief, that was big. Well over the 20-meter mark. That could be a new leader. Let's take a look. It's above the 20-meter mark for sure. Here's the official score, 21.5. He's level with Son of a Digger in joint first. Well, this is unprecedented. If those two trucks finish top, they will have a jump off to decide who wins. Can anyone beat that score, though? We're about to find out, as another big jump in the regular season came from Steve Calabrese in JCB Diggatron in the debut, the very first jump this truck did, and it was massive. Let's see if they've got it in them again here. Gates open, down they come, up to the jump. Doesn't quite get the elevation, rolls the truck over. Well, I don't know if he just mistimed the stop in the air, but here it is, look. Doesn't get the sky wheelie that he wanted. More of just airing the truck out. Ends up crooked, rocks it over, hits a barrel, turns it over. And that is all they wrote for JCB Diggatron in this one. Under the 20-meter mark, so it means he's not even going to qualify for a position on the leaderboard other than near the bottom. 18.5 for Steve Calabrese. Track crew coming in now to right the truck. Doesn't seem to be too much damage, but it will be checked out before freestyle, I'm sure. Our final competitor then, Matt Cheever, Gravedigger the Legend, has it all to play for. If he can get over that highest jump so far shared by Son of a Digger and Kingsling, he will win. Let's take a look if he can do it. Over the jump he goes, doesn't quite get the elevation, I don't think, and ends up on his side in true Cheever style. Here's the replay, up to the ramp he comes. I think he gets a slap wheelie just before hitting the ramp and it takes all of the momentum out. He gets a great sky wheelie but ends up crooked, hits that backflip ramp again and ends up on his side. Just below the 20-meter mark for Matt Cheever. It is a score of 18.5, not good enough tonight, unfortunate for him. Track crew will come in to right the truck. There you can see Gravedigger the Legend. That is it for them tonight. So we have ourselves a jump off them. Ryan Davis will be first up to the track. Two trucks scoring the same score will mean that they jump again. Highest score of the two wins. Gates open. Down comes Son of a Digger. Over the jump. Nice sky wheelie again and a hard fall for Son of a Digger. The shocks didn't seem to absorb that impact particularly well. The jump, a little bit crooked again, just under the 20-meter mark, not quite as high as his first jump. So all Kingsling needs to do is beat this jump to win. Let's see if he can do it. What was the score for Son of a Digger? 18.8 meters in the jump off. That is the score to beat for Kingsling. If he can do it, he has won the high jump championship. If he can't, Son of a Digger will have doubled down tonight and get the win. Let's see what happens here. Kingsling, John Ritchie, didn't qualify for World Finals, but is competing in the high jump. Let's see what he can do here as he gets ready to take on the track for one last time. Gates are open, down comes John Ritchie, hits the jump, that was big. That could be the winner. He rocked the truck right over to get those tyres as high as they possibly could get. And that is well over the 20-meter mark. John Ritchie has just pulled off not only the biggest jump of the night, but also the feat of all feats. He is the high jump champion for this World Finals with a score of 23.5 meters. absolutely massive. John Ritchie is a very deserving champion here of the high jump, and there he is celebrating with the trophy on the truck. A massive congratulations. Team Digger go 2 for 2 on World Finals Championships this year. Kingsling is a World Finals champion. Once again, a congratulations to the team. Congratulations to John Ritchie. The other podiums for Son of a Digger in second and Brodozer in third. Second time for both of those on the podium this World Finals. Congratulations to all three. 2 competitions down, only freestyle remains, and of course our 50th anniversary Bigfoot stunt. We hope you'll join us again in the next Backyard Jam World Finals special for all of that. Until then, I have been your host, Jevon Woodrow. We will see you again for the finale of the Backyard Jam 2025 season. Goodbye.